Found this on the side of the road, actually. A little baby bat. One of its wings is all messed up. He's flopping around there on the ground. Second lie different. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna pick him up. Yeah. Wings no good. I don't know what to do with them though. I don't know what to do with them. Is there a bat expert in the house? If so, let me know. Alright guys, we're later coming up in this video. Somebody has suggested I go around to some of these areas since the road construction has finished and show people how that looks. So later in this video we will be going to Watbo area. I'll show you all the things that have happened in that area since the road construction, show you how cool it looks and all that. And that was going to be the whole video, but some new information has surfaced. It might affect some of you, and I wanted to get that information out first. Of course, if you're a supporter of mine, you would have got your email yesterday with this information. If you haven't, be sure to check your email, because I always give it to you guys first. Well, basically, they've changed the rules and regulations for non-vaccinated people to enter Cambodia. And the first thing they've done is reduce the quarantine time from 14 days to only 7 days. If you have a pre-booked hotel and you have the proof of that, then there's no need for you to pay a $2,000 deposit. If you don't have a hotel booked, you'll still have to pay that though and go to a government-sponsored quarantine place. If you're coming by air on a plane, you'll be required to take a rapid test, a rapid COVID test, at the end of your 7-day quarantine. And if you're negative, you're free to go. If you're coming through a land crossing, a land border, then you'll have to take a test upon arrival and also after your 7-day quarantine. And you will have to test negative for both of those. So yeah, they're trying to get more tourists in, and eventually there'll probably be a time coming up when they'll just get rid of the quarantine altogether, I would think. But for right now, if you're not vaccinated and you book you pre-book a hotel in advance, you'll have to stay in that hotel for only 7 days. You won't have to have a deposit or anything. And as long as you test negative on that 7th day, you are free to go. Now that's all I know right now. That's all the information they've given. Usually when I make announcements like this, there are some people who have very specific circumstances that may be different than normal. I understand that. And they'll ask me, well, what if I'm coming from here and then doing this and this? And the answer is, I don't know. That's all the information they've given. And as always with these announcements, there'll probably be changes made in the coming days or weeks. Also, as an aside, Prime Minister has said that they're going to wait an additional 10 days to see if there's any uptick in corona cases from the Khmer New Year. And if not, he's ready to end the mask mandate for most provinces. I believe they said something in there, except for the provincial cities. So, you know, places like where I live in Siem Reap or Phnom Penh, they might still have a mask mandate, because he said that's where most of the people are. But other than that, they might get rid of the mask mandate here. They're going to wait 10 days, see how the numbers are for the Khmer New Year, see if there's any great uptick in the number of cases, and we'll see from there. And of course, if you're a supporter, I will let you know when all of these things take place. And if you're not a supporter and you want to get in on that, I encourage you to check out my links down below. There are links to PayPal, Ko-Fi.com, or you can join my Patreon. And when you do that, I'll send you copies of my books you get all the breaking news first before I put it on my public channel. And of course, my weekly supporter only videos, just for you guys. All right, now let's go take a look at good old Watbo area. What's up, guys? We are here on my old road, Street 20. Right up there is Watbo Road. And if you watch my older videos, I lived here for the first 2 years that I was making them. You can see how much it's changed. They've expanded the sidewalks. They've got crosswalks now. That road right down there, we're going to be going the other way, but that road right down there used to just be an alley. At the end of that alley was a wall and a dumpster with a couple of, one apartment on one side, a guest house on the other, and that was it. And now that's expanded all the way through, all the way up to the highway, and lots of shops and stores and everything there. Luke used to live right there at one point. This is where we used to go get our drinks, and they have a restaurant next door. It's closed right now, but all the other businesses are still here. You got the Dragon Guest House, you got the local tavern right down the road, little mom and pop shop. The only thing besides the road that's really changed is this right here. This big bricky building. It used to be a locally owned little mini mart kind of store. It was very nice. I liked it. They had a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and a few Western style items, and then a bunch of anything else you wanted, snacks, drinks, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, now it's changed, and to me, all the personality is gone. It used to be a really nice looking building architecturally. Now it's just a Bayon City Mart, a bigger supermarket, kind of more sterilized, and I don't know. To me, it's just generic. It's just not the same. I thought the other place had some atmosphere. But still, I'm not complaining because not much of the other buildings have changed. Still got your ATMs inside. And Watbo Road, which we're on right now, is looking really good. I do like the roads they've done around here. I do like how they've expanded the sidewalks. They filled in the majority, at least, of the potholes and the big chunks of cement that were missing. However, there's still the test of the first true rainy season after completion to worry about. To see how well they did, to see if these roads still get flooded, because the Watbo Road in sections during the rainy season, the majority of it would, I mean, you'd be walking through almost knee-high water, and bikes and cars would have to take their time trying to navigate the washout. But we will see. The other thing I didn't like is that they took away a lot of the trees that were lining the streets. They took them down to make room for the sidewalks. And of course, because of the buildings, there was really nowhere else to plant them. So there's not as much shade as there used to be. However, for the sake of convenience and getting around and trying to improve their infrastructure a little bit, that had to happen. However, it's not all over in all the areas they did. Mainly just here and closer to downtown. And in some areas, I've noticed from other posts and things and videos that they've actually planted some trees along some areas that previously didn't have any. So I guess it was kind of a trade-off, if you will. But yeah, this is Highway 6 up here. Watbo Road. Still a nice place to stay. I lived in that area for 2 years. My first 2 years. Luke's lived there. Now my buddy Kelly from the channel Autumn in Asia. He's living over there at least for 2 weeks. They gave him a pretty good deal for this big, nice apartment. If you watch my last apartment video, you'll The first apartment we looked at is the one he decided to take, at least until he's paid till the end of April, and then he has a choice on whether he wants to stay and pay $300 a month or look for another place, perhaps in a different area. So it's good to have choices. But it's still a really nice apartment. More good old building construction going on. But this area here, the Watbo area, somebody said they wanted to see different videos about different areas since the road construction. And this area around here is it's not the closest to downtown or Pub Street, but it's within even walking distance of everything else. Sasamiki is right up the road here for your market, meat, vegetables, fruit, things of that nature. As I said, all kinds of mom and pop stores. You have all the usual over there. You got phone shops, you got wing offices for transferring money if you need to, street food like this little cart here. And like I said, this road right here didn't used to be here. And that goes all the way back down to Street 20. So there's more room to walk, and they've expanded all this area. You can see the bike path right there. All the nice parking areas right here. Before you had to park on the street or jump up on the curb, they got rid of all that, so that's a pretty good thing, I think. Plus, I was just talking about this with Kelly, that even though they're working on their infrastructure here, trying to make it more accessible, trying to make it more Western style, I guess you can say, it's still not a, and I've said this before in other videos, Cambodia just isn't for everyone. People with mobility issues are gonna probably find it especially hard to get around because there are no wheelchair ramps, or most vehicles aren't equipped with those hydraulic lifts to get somebody in a wheelchair in and out of a vehicle. And some of the curbs are very, very high and steep, even for people who don't have mobility issues, much like myself. You know, I have my aches and pains, I'm getting old, you know, but for the most part I don't have them. But trying to step down and up on some of these big curbs is a hassle sometimes, even for me. So people who can't get around and walk around that good, might not be for you. But for anybody else, of course, as I always say, come on over. Come visit, come live. And I think for the most part, you'll be happy with it. I know I am. I know a ton of people who feel the same way as me. So yeah.